Ginny Rosewater, come on up. None of this would be possible today without the hard work and dedication of Ginny Rosewater and the Midwest Rock Beauties. Ginny's a professional pinup model with years of experience in the vintage lifestyle scene. She has a passion for hot rods, victory rolls, and girls in pretty dresses. She's a founding member of the pinup group, the Midwest Rock Beauties, and she works to build a community where women of all shapes and sizes can feel beautiful and proud while having the time of their lives doing what they love. Let's hear it for Ginny.
Thank you all for coming. I hope you really enjoy the show, and make sure you cheer on all these girls because it's really kind of hard to get up here on stage. So great job, girls. Good luck, and I hope you all have fun.
All right, thank you very much. And again, thank you for organizing this show. Next up, we have our 3 judges. These are people who will be tallying scores and declaring the winner at the end, so I do not envy their position. First up, Miss Aurora Borealis. Aurora has been involved in the vintage fashion scene for several years. She was crowned Miss Iola at this very contest in 2019. A great honor, as Iola is her family's favorite color set. Since then, she's gone on to win the United Pinup Contest, an international competition featuring pinups from around the world, and has been highlighted in publications including Retro Lovely, Pinup Culture, and Rocket Magazine. She wishes all the contestants today the best of luck. Let's hear it for Aurora Borealis. Next is Cora Cole. Cora is a published pinup model, winner of the 2018 Pinups for Charity Pinup Contest, a devoted vintage collector, historian, and writer. Cora loves the glitz, glamour, and fun of the pinup style, but lives for the magic and connections it creates among women. Let's hear it for Cora Cole. And last but not least is Fanny Freckles. Fanny Freckles is the producer of the Mississippi Mayhem Vintage Motor Festival in West Salem, Wisconsin. She splits her time between the stage and track, trading her pinup hair for helmet hair while racing her mini bike, Love Bug. Let's hear it for Fanny Freckles. This is my big card. All right, before we start today, it's very important to me, and of course to the contest, that we talk about the sponsors of this event. No contest of this size would ever happen without amazing support from our sponsors. First is Working Class Publishing. They're an independent publisher from Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Today, contestants are going to win copies of their famous photography books, Vroom, which features Miss Ginny Rosewater, Stocking Seams, and Dark Pinup. Plus, every contestant is receiving a copy of the award-winning vintage lifestyle book, Dollface Vintage by Cherry Dollface. We also can't do it without help from our friends at Greg's Speed Shop. They've supplied the crowns, sashes, and backstage refreshments for the contestants. If you have not been out to Greg's Speed Shop and their retro clothing store, I suggest you go right after you're done here today because it's pretty awesome. Thanks, Greg and Leah. Today's first place winner gets an amazing prize. All right, gets an amazing prize, a photo session with Mitzi & Co. Photography, who's come all the way from California just for the Iola Pinup. This is a very special prize, and we're very proud to have it. Second and third place will also receive photo shoots with local photographers, Cardinal White Photography, and DHR Images. Hold on, that's me. So, congratulations, second place. The Revival Boutique, a clothing store in nearby Wapaka, who's providing contestant gift bag and raffle prizes. Be sure to check them out for your retro clothing needs. We're also thrilled to have legendary Point Brewery as a sponsor this year. Yeah. No car show is complete without a Point beer in hand. They've supplied refreshments and raffle prizes. The top 3 winners will be receiving a custom pinstripe sunglasses from Comic Girl Sunnies. You can check them out at walkthelinepinstripingstudio.com. And also, local bookstore, The Bookseller in Wapaka, has donated copies of Beach Boys' summer hits on vinyl So that's a pretty cool prize. And today's first place winner will be featured in Pinup Culture magazine. Be sure to check out a copy of the upcoming issue featuring today's winner, as well as some back issues featuring previous year's winners. And lastly, thank you to Little Fat Gretchen's, an amazing restaurant in Wapaka. It's one of my favorites. Be sure to stop there before you leave town. All right, and for those of you who have not seen this contest before, here's how it works. It's going to be split into 3 rounds. First round, we're going to meet every contestant on stage. They're going to see some of their best pinup posing. In round 2, the top 13 contestants are going to come up and be called and answer a random question and be scored on their answers. In the final round, round 3, the top 5 scoring contestants will be back on stage to answer one more question and give us their best effort to be crowned Miss Iola 2021. And let's get started. Okay, here we go. First up, number 1, Miss Rosette Papillon. Coming all the way from Duluth, Minnesota, Rosette Papillon is an accountant who enjoys cross-stitch, yoga, and winemaking. After getting her start in pinup just earlier this year, Rosette is now a member of that way up north pinup group, Bordertown Betties. In addition to some classic outfits and amazing shoes, Rosette has a butterfly tattoo to remind her that transformation is beautiful. Give it up for Miss Rosette Papillon. All right, thank you, Rosette. Our next contestant, Miss Pinky Deville. Sweet, sassy, all rolled into one is Pinky Deville, a frontline healthcare worker from La Crosse who enjoys getting out in nature with her dogs, sewing, and styling those amazing wigs. Pinky knows you have to chase your goals in life, and today, her goal is to be the next Miss Iola. All right, give it up for Pinky Deville. Our next contestant is Belladonna Blue. From Saratoga, Wisconsin, Belladonna Blue is a healthcare worker with a love of silly humor and cocktails. When she's not strutting across the pinup stage, you'll find Belladonna out digging in her garden or on the water in her kayak. She's dreamt of being Miss Iola since first watching the contest years ago. I would like to remind everyone that life's a garden. Dig it. Give it up for Miss Belladonna Blue. Our next contestant is Lily Von Torp. Coming up from Adam's Friendship, Lily Von Torp is a true blue car enthusiast who has been coming to the Iola Car Show for years. A special education teacher by day, Lily is a member of the all-girl car club Catfish Kittens and hosts a car show in Dalton, Wisconsin. Lily strongly believes in unnecessary horsepower and laughing at your own mistakes. Give it up for Lily Von Torp. Our next contestant is Ginger Deville. Hailing from Colby, Wisconsin, Ginger Deville is a vintage picker and reseller with a love for hats, scarves, and photography. She was inspired to sign up for the Miss Iola contest by her daughter and fellow contestant, Casey Jo Rumble. Hooked on the pinup scene after entering her first contest at the tender age of 55, Ginger is sure to leave an impression as the fun-loving grandmother with amazing style. Give it up for Ginger Deville. And next is Casey Jo Rumble. Casey Jo Rumble, a manager from Marshfield, Wisconsin, is always looking for an excuse to add to her incredible collection of vintage jewelry, hats, and dresses. Casey first came to the Iola Car Show with her grandfather when she was only 5 years old, and has been in love with vintage vehicles ever since. Her outfit today is inspired by the resurgent energy of the 2021 show with a couple of new family heirlooms, courtesy of Mom's Vintage Treasure Hunting. Give it up for Casey Jo Rumble. Our next contestant, Miss Lola Lynn. From down the road in Stevens Point is Miss Lola Lynn, a stay-at-home mom who loves her family full of boys and homestead full of chickens, ducks, and quail. When she's not crafting or gardening, you'll find Lola working on and driving her '67 Mustang. She's a rough and tumble rockabilly with a personality to match. Let's hear it from Ms. Lola Lynn. Next up, Miss Otto Blossom. The mechanic from Minocqua, Miss Otto Blossom. This rebellious rockabilly spends her days working on cars and driving fast, but is sure to make time for hiking, finding waterfalls, and her children and loved ones. Sometimes it's nice to slow down with the simplicity and elegance of pinup. Otto Blossom's outfit today is inspired by her late father, a Navy veteran. Give a hand for Miss Otto Blossom. Next up is Millie Rose Mitchell. Coming all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Millie Rose Mitchell is a 22-year Army combat veteran currently serving as first sergeant. When she's not in uniform, Millie enjoys crafting, thrifting, and spending time with her son. This vintage-loving gal also devotes her time advocating for veterans in need through a variety of organizations. Let's hear it from Millie Rose Mitchell. Our next contestant is Shirley Shasta. Making the trip from Superior, Wisconsin, Shirley Shasta is a guidance counselor who also sews her own clothes, restores vintage campers, and makes time for walks with her lassie dog. When she's not gracing the pinup stage, Shirley can be found touring car shows and camping in her '72 Shasta Compact. Of course, her outfit today is made with her own two hands. Let's hear it for Shirley Shasta. And next up, Miss Chaos. Hailing from the land of extra O's, Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, Miss Chaos is a dispatcher who spends her free time at flea markets, swap meets, or under the hood of her truck. If you need someone to help fix your car before making Thanksgiving dinner, Miss Chaos is the person who can do it without messing up her hair and nails. Thank you very much. Give it up for Miss Chaos. Next contestant is Lacey Mcgillicuddy. From the home of beer, brats, and bowling, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Lacey Mcgillicuddy is a hairstylist who loves painting, reading, and lounging in her cupcake dresses and sparkly jewelry. Lacey spends her days making the world more beautiful, one person at a time, and she'd be honored to be crowned the next Miss Iola. Give it up for Lacey Mcgillicuddy. Our next contestant, Miss Nellie Katz. Coming all the way from Stacy, Minnesota, Miss Nellie Katz is an insurance rep and yoga teacher who divides her free time between drinking black coffee and cruising in her classic car. Nellie Katz's name is inspired by her great-grandmother, Nell Catherine, and she in turn hopes to inspire the next generation of pinups by becoming Miss Iola 2021. Let's hear it for Miss Nellie Katz. Our next contestant is Luna Von Clutch. From Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, Luna Von Clutch is a manager who loves her houseplants and repurposing vintage furniture. Not just a pretty face, Luna is also a gear-grabbing, clutch-kicking leadfoot that enjoys short runs on the drag strip and romantic late nights rebuilding carburetors. This is one gal who isn't afraid to get a little grease on her nails. Give it up for Luna Von Clutch. And our next contestant, Sherry Lamour. Coming from sunny Stevens Point, Wisconsin, Sherry Lamour is a continuous improvement analyst who divides her free time between the gym, her ukulele, and the pages of a classic book. Inspired by the iconic style and inclusivity of pinup expression, what Sherry loves most about Miss Iola Contest is the celebration of beauty, confidence, and body positivity. Give it up for Sherry Lamour. Our next contestant is Bettina Lacroix. Hailing from Kenosha, Wisconsin, Bettina Lacroix is an artist who enjoys baking, traveling, and time spent in the tattoo chair. Inspired by style icon Brigitte Bardot, Bettina also has a deep love for 60s French pop, mermaids, and dancing in the street. Her outfit today is a nod to the fun and freedom of the 60s and 70s. Let's hear a hand for Bettina Lacroix. Next up is Lola Lovely. From Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lola Lovely is a surgical technologist who loves to express herself creatively by sewing, crafting, and of course taking any opportunity to do her hair and makeup. One thing you may not know about this sluggard, Lola has a swing to match baseball hero Dottie Hinson, played iconically, of course, by Gina Davis in A League of Their Own. Let's hear it for Lola Lovely. Our next contestant is Violet Bell. All the way from Rochester, Minnesota, Violet Bell is a surgical tech who likes to spend her time reading a good book, baking, or planning her next vacation. What she loves most about pinup is the mix of feeling both sassy and classy. When Violet struts her pinup stuff, she tries to base her look on a vintage item and then go from there. Let's hear it for Violet Bell. Our next contestant is Little Luna Lillard. Hailing from Menasha, Wisconsin, Little Luna Lillard is a cosmetologist and a Miss Iola veteran who has participated in every contest. When she's not on the pinup stage, Luna is spending her time with her family and friends. For those diehard Miss Iola fans, you'll remember that Luna received a marriage proposal right here on the stage in 2019, and she was even nice enough to say yes. Let's hear it for Little Luna Lillard. Our next contestant is Kitty Nightingale. Coming up from Janesville, Wisconsin, Kitty Nightingale is a hairdresser and salon owner who spends her free time sewing, costuming, and modeling. She shares her talents with high school theaters, teaching stage makeup to hairstyling to students. Kitty thanks her theater background for all the opportunities to learn about vintage fashion, makeup, and hairstyles, and hopes the transition from backstage to front stage will be her ticket to Miss Iola's success. Let's hear it for Kitty Nightingale. Next is Dottie Delicious. From beautiful Fox Lake, Wisconsin, Dottie Delicious is an indispensable pusher of paper at the local bank. In her spare time, she enjoys crafting, woodworking, and restoring a 1956 F-150 with her dad. What Dottie loves about the Iola Car Show is all the hard work, ingenuity, and dedication to the love of cars. She wants to be the next Miss Iola to show her two daughters you can be a rebel at heart and still act like a lady. Give it up for Dottie Delicious. Our next contestant is Helen Blair. Currently from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Helen Blair is a server who spends her work hours inspiring patrons with good conversation and even better hair. In her spare time, this free spirit and old soul likes to satisfy her creativity by turning wrenches, painting, and working with her hands. Helen has walked the grounds of the Iola car show since childhood and feels it's truly a blessing to be able to grace the Miss Iola stage. Let's hear it for Helen Blair. And our final contestant for the day, Goldie Frost. Coming from Ottawa, Illinois, all that glitters is not gold, it's Goldie Frost. In addition to swinging dance moves with her husband, Goldie loves fashion. She began sewing her own vintage wardrobe 5 years ago and has been chronically overdressed ever since. Her other hobbies include hoarding vintage sewing patterns, buying fabric she doesn't sew, and claiming she has nothing to wear. This is Goldie's first trip to Iola, and you can find her roughing it on the campground in her 1959 Siesta travel trailer. Let's hear it for Goldie Frost. All right, let's bring the contestants out for one last pass. All right, give it up for round one contestants of the Miss Iola contest. All right, everybody, give them a hand. All right, great. Thank you, ladies. We're going to tally the scores and see who's going to make it to the next round. Okay, let's hear it one more time for all these wonderful contestants. I wish they could all go on to the next round, but that's how these things go. Your second round semifinalists, in order of appearance, number 6, Lily Von Torp. Number 8, Casey Jo Rumble. Number 11, Millie Rose Mitchell. Number 12, Shirley Shasta. Number 14, Lacey Mcgillicuddy. Number 15, Miss Nellie Cat. Number 17, Sherry Lamour. Number 18, Bettina Lacroix. Number 19, Lola Lovely. Number 22, Kitty Nightingale. Number 23, Dottie Delicious. Number 24, Helen Blair. And our final semifinalist, number 25, Goldie Frost. All right, thank you very much, ladies. Go on, head back. Give it up for the first round contestants. Lily Von Tor. Your question, who is your vintage role model and why?
Hi guys, how you doing? Best weather we've ever had at Iola, am I right? Yeah. So my vintage role model is someone you've never heard of. Her name is Sarah Elizabeth Howard Merritt, and she was my great-grandmother. And this is why she's my vintage role model. My great-grandma Sarah was born and raised in North Carolina, and she went to teacher college in New York. And she didn't have to teach. She's a stay-at-home mom. But in the 1920s, due to her own experience with having a sister with special needs, she started a kindergarten for children with special needs. And I didn't find out that she did this until a couple of years ago. And my career, I've worked with children with special needs for over 20 years. So that's not the only reason she's my hero. I have an affinity for Willys/Willis cars that I've never been able to explain. And when I was reading that journal, I found out that she was a real-life Rosie the Riveter in World War II. And what she decided to do with the money she earned from World War II was get herself her very first car. And guess what? It was a 1939 Willys. And she took that car, and she brought her family back together. She was a generation separated from the Civil War. And so she took that car for her first trip to North Carolina to visit her family. And then she took that car to visit her brother who was suffering from PTSD from World War I in Los Angeles. And she writes with such pride because a woman in those times, they didn't own their own cars. So that's why she's my role model, man.
Casey Joe Rumble. Your question, if you had a theme song, what would it be and why?
If I had a theme song, it would have to be Deville with the Blue Dress On. Because my nickname with my friends, I've always been called the Devil. And you hear that beat just kick in right away. You want to get moving, grooving, and have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey Joe Rumble. Millie Rose Mitchell. Your question. Describe a party you would love to host.
A party I would love to host. Firstly, hello, Iola! How's everybody doing? So I gotta tell you, I absolutely love the vintage lifestyle, the rockabilly community, the classic car culture. So any kind of party I plan is gonna be around this. And I already have a couple ideas I've been working on. So you can let me know what you think of these. So firstly, I want to bring back the 1950s Playboy Bunny for one night and have a key club party. But this, for those of you who don't realize, the pinup community almost always is associated with some kind of advocacy, right? We raise money and we help those other people in need. So my key party, you would have to buy an exclusive key, and that would go to the charity of choice. And then you'd have a rockin' good time in a classic venue, bringing back the 1950s Playboy Bunny Club. The next party that I would create, and in keeping with Iola the 70s show, I'd have to bring back Studio 54 for just one night. And the last party I would create would be a World War II dining in where all soldiers from all eras would be welcome, but we would honor those soldiers of World War II in a classic World War II dining in. So I'm here to party, and I hope you guys are too, and when it happens, you're all welcome. Thank you so much, Iola.
Let's hear it for Millie Rose Mitchell. Shirley Shasta. All right, Shirley, your question. If money were no object, what kind of car would you buy for yourself and why?
All right, thank you. So I have actually been saving my pennies, my side hustle, for a classic car coming up soon here. But I have to tell you, I am a sentimental girl, and growing up, we had a 1964 Corvair coupe. Not super flashy like some cars here, but it's a classic, and one of my favorite things to do was take a ride with my dad and listen to oldies radio. And so I would love to track one of those down. Since money's no object, I could track our original car down and take my dad for a ride in that car. So thank you.
Let's hear it for Shirley Shasta. Lacey Mcgillicuddy. All right, Lacey, your question. If you could go on a date with anyone, who would it be and why?
Well, at this point, I take anything with a pulse that can't outrun me. That's true. Yeah, but my dream man would be a man called Archibald Leach. You might know him better as Cary Grant. I just think that he is the epitome of suave and debonair, and he's got that amazing voice and accent. Like, I think he is so dreamy that I would not mind if he called me Judy, Judy, Judy. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, Lacey Mcgillicuddy. Miss Nellie Cat. Hello, Nellie. Your question. Who is your vintage role model and why?
So my father raised me with a love of music, and specifically jazz. So I'm gonna go with Billie Holiday. I love Billie Holiday. The quote from her that has always stuck with me was, if I'm gonna sing like everybody else, I'm not gonna sing at all. And there's a level of confidence there and just tenacity that says, I'm gonna be me and take it or leave it. And I think that that is just very admirable.
Great job. Thank you, Miss Nellie Cat. Cherry Lamour. Okay, Cherry, your question is, if you had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Well, to fit with my theme of cherries today, I chose Cherry Pie by Lillard, and one of the lyrics goes, I can put a smile on your face 10 miles well.
Great, thank you. Let's hear it for Cherry Lamour. We're doing great, everybody. Next up, Bettina Lacroix. Bettina, your question is, describe a party you would love to host.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So my husband and I purchased a 1923 home 2 years ago, and a party that I would love to host in a couple of years is a 100-year celebration of the birthday of our house. So it would be a roaring 20s themed rager with costumes and unlimited champagne, and everybody would have a fantastic time. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Bettina Lacroix. Next up is Lola Lovely. Okay, Lola, your question is, if money were no object, what kind of car would you buy for yourself and why?
pretend to know all that much about cars. I mean, look at me, I spend too much time on my hair and makeup. But if money were no object, well, would time and space be? And then, so I guess instead of a car, I think I would have to go with a Starship, the Millennium Falcon. Anybody know of it? Make a Kessel run in 12 parsecs. I would have to do a couple modifications, make a little pocket for my lipstick and my mirror. But I think we're gonna go with a Starship on this one. Thank you.
Great job, Miss Lola Lovely. Next up is Kitty Nightingale. Okay, Kitty, your question is, if you could go on a date with anyone, who would it be and why?
Thanks. Well, I'm gonna have to follow her theme because I would have to choose Harrison Ford because I love the Millennium Falcon too. And that's all.
That's great. Thank you very much, Kitty Nightingale, everyone. Next up is Dottie Delicious. So, Dottie, your question is, who is your vintage role model and why?
Well, I technically don't have a vintage role model per se, but there is an astute amount of ladies standing behind me and people that have encouraged me in this field of pinup. And I would have to say that I look up to each and every one of them because they have encouraged me, they've cheered me on, they've helped me out, they've got safety pins. So I would have to say the pinup community, they're my role models. Because they are so much my family.
Thank you very much, Dottie Delicious. Next up is Helen Blair. Hi, Helen. If you had a theme song, what would it be and why?
All right. Honestly, I have to think on that one a little bit. There's a couple I could probably go. You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Eye of the Tiger. Because roar. And that's it. It's as simple as that.
It's a great song. Thank you, Helen Blair. Miss Goldie Frost. Okay, Goldie, describe a party you would love to host.
Okay, well, I've technically already thrown this party, but it was so much fun, I want to throw it again. I am obsessed with the mid-century, so I did a Kitsch Mix Christmas party where everyone came dressed mid-century and were able to bring some weird, gross mid-century dish to pass. I made a big bowl of eggnog, got rave reviews, and then we did a gift exchange, and the deal was it needed to be vintage and thrifted. And if you're curious what I got, it was a 4-H blue ribbon from 1954 for raising sheep. Thanks.
Right, thank you very much, Miss Goldie Frost. All right, ladies, come on up one last time to hear it from the audience. Give it up for our round 2 contestants, everybody. All right, thank you very much, ladies. We're gonna tally the scores and move on to round 3 in a few minutes. Before we announce the finalists for the Miss Iola 2021 Pinup Contest, let's give one more round of applause for our semifinalists. And our first finalist is number 25, Goldie Frost. Finalist number 2. Number 15, Ms. Nellie Cat. Finalist number 3. Number 14, Lacey Mcgillicuddy. Finalist number 4. Number 12, Shirley Shasta. And our 5th and last finalist for round 3 of the 2021 Miss Iola Pinup Contest. Number 11, Millie Rose Mitchell. All right, give our finalists a hand and give the team from round 2 a hand. Thank you very much, ladies. Okay, in the final round, each contestant gets the same question and their opportunity to answer it. Millie Rose, come on up. The question is, what does pinup mean to you?
What does pinup mean to me? Well, pinup actually started in the 1880s. A lot of people don't know that as advertisements. It moved into World War II, which are the eras we typically celebrate and honor today through the 40s and 50s. And it was literally a picture we took out of a magazine and we pinned it up. It was tucked inside wall lockers, foot lockers, tucked safely inside of a uniform pocket, in a cockpit, and sometimes we even led the way into battle as nose art on World War II aircrafts. But today, modern day pinup is much more than just artfully crafted pin curls and a perfectly applied cat eye. No, we are literally a community. We are a sisterhood, and you hear it a lot because it's true. We know when we step on this stage as a pinup, we can look to the girl to our left or our right and be just as happy for their victories as we would be for our own. And that is what a modern day pinup is really about. It's about being there for each other, being inspiring, being encouraging, being uplifting, not just for our sisters in the pinup community, but for the entire community as a whole. And we also work together, like I said, to advocate for anyone else who may be in need. And that is what a pinup is to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Millie Rose Mitchell, everyone. Shirley Shasta. What does pinup mean to you?
Thank you. All right. So about 3 years ago, I did my first pinup show. I had never even seen a pinup show before. I just thought it sounded like fun, and so we were vintage camping at a show, and that sounded like fun. So I signed up and I did it, and it was fun. And I still didn't really understand what pinup really meant. And then 6 months later, I reached out to my local car show and asked them if they would like me to put on a contest. And they said yes. And then I thought, oh no, what have I done? I have no idea what I am doing. But from that day forward, over and over again, there were women who were coming up beside me and saying, yes, what can I do for you? Reaching out to strangers I have never met who I knew had organized pinup contests and just talking to them on the phone for an hour, them being willing to talk to me on the phone for an hour, reaching out to pinup photographers from the cities and hair and makeup artists, and just over and over again, women were saying, yes, how can I help? I want to be a part of this. Friends, strangers signing up, the contestants, over and over again. And that is what pinup means to me, saying yes and showing up for each other and for ourselves, because it's not always easy to come up here. So saying yes and showing up for each other, that is what this community means to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Shirley Shasta, everyone. Lacey Mcgillicuddy. Lacey, what does pinup mean to you?
So this may come as a surprise, but I've always been a little weird and danced to the beat of my own drummer. And I've always embraced all things vintage thanks to my grandmother. I've had a love of vintage all my life. And so when I went to my first pinup contest and met all these wonderful ladies, I found my people, my fellow weirdos. And together we're a community that accepts all shapes and sizes, races, colors, ages. It accepts everybody. And we're there for each other. And we're like, with the support, like the other ladies have said, that it's a strong knit community. And I can't speak right now, but I love them all. And like in a world full of Kardashians, I would rather be a Lucy or a Betty or a Marilyn or a Jackie O. That is what pinup means to me. It's loving each other and taking care of each other and supporting one another and wearing cute dresses and shoes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lacey Mcgillicuddy, everyone. Miss Nellie Cat. Nellie, what does pinup mean to you?
It's a great question. Pinup for me is being able to bring memories alive for people. I can't tell you how many times I will go to the grocery store and seam stockings and this sweet little lady will come up and say, oh, my mom wore those. I always had to check to make sure her seams are straight. Or when we're sitting by our 50 Dodge and people will come up and ask where I got my clothing and why I do what I do. I love bringing memories back to people and living the nostalgia that people had at one time and just bringing that all back to the forefront. And I think that's what it means to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Miss Nellie Cat, everyone. Goldie Frost. All right, Goldie, surprise question. Goldie, what does pinup mean to you?
Okay, so for me, pinup started with a feeling. I know you're gonna find this hard to believe, but I have always been ultra feminine. So much so, my entire kindergarten year, I threw tantrums if my parents tried to put me in anything other than a dress. And I always gravitated towards vintage silhouettes, and that was a big reason in me learning to sew is I wanted to be able to present myself the way I feel inside. And so, like, I would show up to events like this for many, many years, and people would see how I was dressed, and they're like, are you in the contest? And I'm like, no, this is just me. This is just who I am. And so a couple years ago, that started to evolve, and I decided to do my first pinup contest. And now, pinup for me has become more, not just about myself, but about the community, because I can tell you, if these girls weren't this amazing, if everyone wasn't this supportive, I would not have the courage to be up on this stage right now. And so I'm grateful for all the pushes, I'm grateful for the compliments, the zippers, the safety pins. And so yeah, pinup really does mean community to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Goldie Frost, everyone. Let's hear it one more time for the Miss Iola 2021 finalists. All right, we're going to tally the final scores, and we'll have the winners back out in a few minutes. Thank you, ladies. Okay, let's bring out all the contestants. Let's hear it for 2021 Miss Iola Pinup Contest contestants, everyone. This is not an easy contest, and every one of these girls did a great job today. All right, if our 5 finalists could come to the front of the stage. Okay, and now the moment of truth. In 3rd place, Miss Iola Hot Rod Honey, Miss Nellie Cat. Let's hear it for Miss Nellie Cat, everyone. Yeah, great. Now second place, Miss Iola Custom Cutie, Millie Rose Mitchell. Give it up for Miss Millie Rose Mitchell, everyone. And first place, the winner of Miss Iola 2021, the Miss Iola Blue Ribbon, Shirley Shasta. All right, congratulations to Shirley Shasta, everybody. Give it up for our winner. Our top 3 finalists and the contestants who did such a great job today. Thank you everyone for watching and applauding and paying attention and doing a great job today. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy to have all of you here today and all these wonderful contestants to come out. One more time for our finalists.